Hello, welcome to Sound and Fairy Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Mad Dog and the Sea Dragon by Lisa de Nikolits. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. This is a book that came out August 25th, 2025 from Banana Press. It's a contemporary fiction, Canadian fiction. I received this copy from River Street Reads in exchange for a fair review. And yes, I deliberately matched my shirt to the book today because I am that kind of dork. A wild ride featuring dysfunctional siblings and zany scenarios, Mad Dog and the Sea Dragon is a modern noir kind of thriller that is very, very fun. What's it about? Greed drives the stakes higher and higher in this finely crafted modern-day noir fiction starring Jessica Wren, a sassy, vintage-loving fashionista who works as a janitor by night and dreams big by day. When she becomes a powerful mobster's mistress, Jessica finds herself thrust into a world that's as dangerous as it is glamorous. Don't mess with mob boss antagonist gangster Enzo Esposito, whose love for the murder photographer Ouija finds his way into his business dealings. Okay. I will admit that in general, I don't like mob stories, and most of the time I can't stand anything to do with organized crime, really, as it's generally full of crappy men treating women horribly. Name a mob movie and I generally don't like it or have never bothered to finish it. The reason I requested this book, though, was honestly because I thought it was a detective story. I honestly have no idea why I thought that, but whatever. All this is to say that despite my dislike of the mobster genre, this book is really, really good and I really loved it. Mainly because the mobster life in this is in no way glamorized and the story is from an interesting perspective. Someone who doesn't know anything about the business dealings. It's one of those books where you aren't really sure what is going on a lot of the time, but in a good way. We follow Jessica as she, on behest of her sister, seduces and becomes the mistress of the local mob boss's son. A good chunk of the story is her adapting to this life. It's not a mystery at all, really, but the intrigue comes from odd things that Jessica notices around the apartment where she's essentially sequestered. There's a weird bunch of characters that you're not sure mean Jessica harm or not, including her own sister, an ex-boyfriend, and some people from the mob family. I will admit, in the first third, I was sort of wondering where the story was going because I couldn't really kind of figure out what the trajectory was. But it's also really interesting at the same time. It kind of reminded me in a very, very loose way of My Year of Rest and Relaxation, but with more plot and not so I don't know, I guess ridiculous. The book has a really interesting style. There are some pretty dark and dreadful things that happen in the novel, but despite that, it never got disturbing. There's this almost kind of veneer of amusement that envelops the whole book. It's not really funny, but it's weird and zany and almost farcical, but also not really. It's got this very, very interesting tone that I clearly am unable to kind of pin down. It also helps, the kind of, darker aspects. It kind of helps that you don't really like Jessica. She seems like a bit of a doormat for a lot of the book and is both naive and she's kind of lazy. Yet you also have a feeling the entire time that she's hiding something from not only everyone but the reader. So you wonder whether there's more to her than she seems. And if not, her decision to trade away her independence for potential windfall of being a mobster's mistress is an interesting route for a character to take, especially as she never considers this a problem. I mean, as long as you know what you're getting into, you do you if you want to be some guy's mistress and, have him control you and stuff. I don't care. Do what you want. I wouldn't choose it personally, but it's interesting because it doesn't seem like she kind of cares about this at all. Or maybe she's just, she just doesn't, it doesn't bother her. And I find that so fascinating, and I wonder if it has to do a lot with her relationship with her sister. There's so much going on in this book. It's way deeper than just kind of like a zany kind of thriller. There's a lot of really interesting things happening in this book, and I just think it's really, really good. I couldn't put it down. The other characters are just as weird as Jessica is, but in different ways. It's almost a commentary on how even people with a lot of power are, in the end, just as flawed and messed up as everyone else. Everyone's just kind of making things up as they go along, and everyone is just putting on a front. In fact, it sort of pokes fun at mobster culture as them being just a bunch of dumb idiots like everyone else in the world, and I kind of maybe that's what I liked about it too. So aside from a mildly meandering first third, which I can't even really say is a problem because it's not like I was bored or anything, I can't really provide much critique on this book. It moves at a great clip. It's an addictive read. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. I just don't know who I would recommend it to because I'm it's not really a thriller. It is a thriller in a way, but it's also kind of a I don't know. I guess if you like thrillers that are kind of weird thrillers, I guess. Okay, that there we go. It's a weird thriller, and it's weird in a great way, and I really enjoyed it. And thank you so much to River Street Reads for this copy. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. So thank you.